expense that we paid, the $177.95 was for the clerk. So that money went to the town.
Any questions for Bill? Okay, we're on track for a good year. Okay, let's go into the next item here. The HMC membership has, as of the writing of the agenda, 2 alternate member vacancies. I'm pleased to announce that our newest full-time member is Terry Lewis. So you're really not replacing somebody, you're our full-time member. So we welcome you on board, Terry. You've done an incredibly great job in the last 2 or 3 years you've been on the committee, and so now that we get to see you as the full-time member. There's two issues here. Steve Ross resigned. He's not on the phone. He's a full-time Florida resident. He can no longer hold office on town committees. I'm going to ask at this meeting everybody who is interested in the vice chairman position. We're not going to vote tonight. I want to give everybody a month to think about it and step forward and contact me. If you're uncomfortable contacting me, you can contact the secretary, which is Mike McGee. And Mike will, before the meeting, you'll have the list of nominees for vice chairman, Mike, that will vote on it. So either talk to me and I'll give it to Mike, or you can talk to Mike if you don't want to talk to me. If you want to be considered for vice chairman, please let it be known. I'd rather do it this way. Instead of me trying to select somebody, I'd rather that the person step up and want to do the job. And the only person who's not eligible is Chris Staub and Harry Powell. They're not full members. Question, Tom.
Is there a published job or position description for the vice chairman's role?
It has a brief mention in the harbor management plan, and basically as you fill in for the chairman when he's not available. But there's no specific duties for the vice chairman that other than to fill in for the chairman. You have the same power to spend $100 that I have. So if that's the tipping point, the $100 spending limit, then go for it. Okay, so is everybody clear? Nominations to myself, self-nominate, or to let Mike know. And
is Bob Fagolera, can he be a nominee? He's technically ex officio, but not officially ex officio yet by the state. So where does he fall?
Bob Folgera's title is acting deputy harbor master, so he's not. He did not relinquish his membership as a full member.
So he could fill in.
He could be considered.
Yeah, but if he did and then he became assistant harbor manager,
he'd have to give it up. That's correct. That's correct. He might change his mind. He'd rather be assistant than vice chairman, or he might want to be vice chairman instead of assistant. So we'll let him make that choice if he wants to make that choice. Okay, second issue, ex officio position. One of the issues when Steve Ross resigned is he had a lot of continuity and local knowledge of what went on in this committee for 18 years. I think it was demonstrated last month when he can come up with some information that we didn't have on the tip of our forehead. I would like to assign Steve Ross a position of ex officio member of the committee for the duration of this year from now till December. And I'll tell you what my thoughts were. The ex officio, Harry is one, and our assistant deputy harbor master or deputy harbor master would be one if we had one. means that they're not constrained like members of the public from talking at a meeting. An ex officio member, whenever Harry wants to weigh in on an issue, he can speak right up. So that's what ex officio means in my book, is that we can allow Steve to participate in the meetings as an ex officio member, and he would not be a member of the public, he would be an ex official, and he would be able to speak. The duration would be from now, this meeting, till the end of December, to fill out the year that he would have had as the chairman, vice chairman, if he didn't resign. Okay, any discussion?
Has he expressed an interest in that?
Pardon, sir?
Has Steve expressed an interest in doing this?
Yes, Steve asked me if he could participate as ex officio because he wanted to continue to help us move along. And I greatly appreciated it. I thought it was a good idea.
Will he be on site or will this be a remote role?
Could be either one. I think he's still in Florida, Chris, and I don't think this is a very exciting agenda, so he probably didn't participate. But I think he could, when he moves back to Old Lyme, I expect him to come up to the meetings. Harry?
This kind of is a sideline to that, but do you know where all the archives of information are?
What
for harbor management?
I have a small box of what Steve gave me. It's a file folder about this big and a map. That's it.
Okay, so what's happened with all the literature that would come with, let's say, somebody applying for a dock or DEP with permits? Where did all that stuff go?
It gets thrown out.
We don't archive any
No,
of that?
we don't keep any of it.
So, with the railroad situation, all of that stuff is going to get thrown out on the railroad bridge?
You have the copy right now. I gave it to you.
Yeah, I do, but I'm just curious because you're right, Steve is a wealth of knowledge, but there are also there's a lot of information that's come across this commission over the last 10 years I've been on it, and I was just wondering, why don't we archive it? There may be some situations where we have to go back and look at certain projects. And, I don't know. I keep all my records. I was just curious.
No, we don't keep records. Yeah.
Brad Ficton had been harbor master and secretary, I think it was, of the commission for quite a while, and he had a number of boxes of records of that stuff, and he offered it to the commission after he retired, and I believe we turned it down. Nobody knew what to do with it.
But aren't we supposed to keep a lot of these projects because...
I thought it went to the town. I had no idea.
I mean, the town keeps records of land purchases and...
Zoning records.
Yeah.
It's a good point, actually, I think.
No. There's no structural...
So we're not
or
required.
there's no requirement for us to keep records of that sort. We only have to keep a record of our minutes and our votes.
Well, somewhere down the road, wouldn't it be logical to keep some of these things?
Well, Harry, the DEP has everything, so if we needed to ask for that, they could probably pull that for us.
But you know, there are a lot of other, like DACO is an engineering company that does business with us. Not that some of the others on the shoreline, but there are other engineering firms.
Okay. What's your point, Harry? What do you want me to do?
No, I don't want you to do anything. I was just curious.
Everything that we receive is a copy. Everything we receive. DACO, it's a copy. DEP, it's a copy. I mean, there's been very few instances where we have to go back and get information. And if we do want to get updated railroad track information, that's a 7, 8, 10-year project. We've got the 60% plans, we could get the 40% plans, we get the 100%. You know, I'd like to have the as-built, but it's not necessary. They're going to send some more, or we'll talk to that lady that runs the project. I mean, they're going to change those plans, maybe, who knows? How many times they're going to change the plans? The plans are not functionally up to date because they're obsolete the minute they put them up. Revision after revision after revision. It's just, I think it's a waste of time.
Well, I know that in a lot of situations when I'm dealing with docks,
Yeah.
people that are looking to put in new docks are always asking about, well, is it recorded on the deed? I mean, some of this stuff should be kept on file, I think.
That should actually be with DEET, as long as it was permitted.
Yeah, but don't you think it should be in the land records of the town?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
I mean, that was the problem we had before, with every time DEET went and started going from the air and finding these docks without permits and wanted people to tear it down.
Okay. The discussion is about ex officio member for Steve Ross. I'd like a motion to state that Steve could be an ex officio member of the committee for the duration of 2021, terminating in December.
Make that motion.
Tom Meyer made the motion. Second. Bill Harris, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question? You're limiting this to the end of the year. Is there a possibility if he wants, you'll extend it another year?
Yes.
Okay.
I think what we do is decide in December when we vote for people whether or not the new slate of officers wants him to be an ex officio member, and it would be up to the incoming January officers to decide again if they want Steve ex officio. Ex officio members can't vote, but if they want his voice to be heard and Steve wants to do it for another year, we could petition.
So are you saying it's the commission officers that will determine if that year is extended, or shouldn't it be the whole commission?
No, we'll vote on it just like we did now.
Okay.
No.
Okay, because you originally just said
Yeah, he did.
commission officers.
Well, what I meant is that if you have new officers, if I don't run for chairman again, the new chairman might want to say they want the benefit of some sage advice from Steve, and that would be their decision. I don't want to make assumptions for the next year.
I think what Harry's saying, I don't mean to speak for him, but what I see is we just voted on from now through December.
That's right.
So in December, if we want, we vote again.
You vote again.
Yeah, okay.
You vote again. You did make the decision in December when you're voting for officers. You make the decision if you want to make the slate of officers. You want another ex officio member. You want a deputy acting assistant harbor master. I mean, it's all those things come up for a vote.
Good.
So we don't have to. Those are temporary positions, ex officio and the deputy acting harbor masters, temporary positions, not cast in concrete as far as I can see. Okay, so we still have room for 2 alternate members. Hopefully, Sloan, that we'll see you get hooded from the office over here. Okay. We had correspondence from the DEP, notice of non-compliance, 15 Academy Lane, Old Lyme. There is the occupants of 15 Academy Lane were sent a letter by the DEP that the existing dock located on their property, consisting of approximately a 3-foot wide by 28-foot long fixed pier There is an 8-foot wide by 21-foot long floating dock and approximately a 3-foot wide by 18-foot long ramp located on the west of the dock along the riverbank. The pier and the float have been installed or maintained waterward of the coastal jurisdiction line, the CGL, and within the tidal wetlands without authorization required and pursuant to Connecticut general statutes. And they have been given 60 days to make an application to seek authorization to retain the pier and the ramp of the float. And within 30 calendar days, they must submit a compliance statement identifying how they propose to bring the site into compliance. Mary Ellen, all that needs for the record is just the title there that was discussed. Okay?
Okay, got it.
All right, there's nothing here for us to do. They'll have to see what they apply to DEEP.
Is that a new dock, or has that been there forever?
Doesn't say.
And when was that sent out to the Academy Lane?
April 30th?
Recently.
I just got it.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Do you know?
Anybody seen this dock?
No.
I went down to look for it, I couldn't find it. I go 15 Academy Lane, but there was no dock like they explained.
I don't know. It's news to me.
All right.
Okay, I did get another piece of lake correspondence, didn't make the agenda. We can discuss it later if we want to. The Binney Road Community Association, the BRCA, is petitioning our advice on how to create a no-wake zone between the area of the shore and Goose Island, between the point at which Kriebel's house, at the point there, goes up to the north end of Goose Island and becomes into Lord's Cove. Harry,
Signage.
what is the regulation for no-wake zones?
Stairs, we-
Yeah, it's all based on speed.
But it's 100 feet from shore, right?
It is. It's very narrow there.
How wide is that area right there?
Oh, that's very narrow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You might not have 100 feet. You might have a sliver that's not 100 feet from either side. So it may be just by regulation automatically no wake zone.
I believe it is. It's almost like going past the old line marina. You don't speed by the marinas there. But the problem is that people aren't necessarily slowing down. There's some boat traffic there that plows right along. And they don't do 20 miles an hour, but they're doing like 8 or 9 miles an hour. The wake is actually worse at 8. You know, it's like they're throwing all kinds of wake out of these boats. It's like, all right. So, would the committee put up a buoy, or do we just tell them they can put up a buoy?
Well, it's a committee. That association really has no authority on the water.
That's right. That's what they're requesting. They want you to know what to do from us.
Can I say something here? There are not that many moorings in the Binney Road area. So we're talking maybe 10 or 15 boats at the most.
Right.
If the people that are doing that speeding can't understand, I mean, it's their area. They're only hurting their neighbors.
Yeah, I would assume it's not the people that are keeping their moorings there, though. It's other people.
No, it's other people, Harry.
Cruising.
I've been up there quite a bit, and I've never seen anybody really churn through those waters. I may be wrong.
It doesn't take much.
I've sat at Kriebel's multiple times and have whistled as loud as I could to tell people to slow
Well,
down.
then you gotta put a buoy up.
It's all you got everybody at Cow's Island for the day that are coming down the river and they're deciding to go up there to see what's going on. The jet skis that cruise through there.
Actually, there should be signage on Cabs Island about if you're
All right, well, the issue at hand is that do we supply a buoy, or do we ask them to put a mooring in and we supply a buoy, or is there any precedent for us in the commission here of applying a no-wake zone in this particular area?
Doesn't that imply that someone needs to enforce it?
Well, they can't supply their own buoy because they have no authority.
Right. But even if whoever puts a buoy in, if the buoys that sit and you go in, who's going to enforce it? We don't have.
Well,
Gary doesn't do patrol.
we have no-wake zones on the Connecticut River. They're there, but they're not enforced because there's no patrol boats.
That's not true.
But, well, yes and no, Harry. I mean, there's boats that plow through those zones. I think there's an awareness, Tom, that a sign would make a person aware that they're not supposed to speed through there.
Yeah, I see that point. I just want to make sure that we're not.
No, we're not going to enforce it. No, we're not.
Well,
Terry.
There's constant patrolling going on with DEP, and there's marshals, and there's every once in a blue moon, you get the Essex Police boat will come down a little bit further than normal, just to blow they'll open the boat up just so that they're not idle all day long. And they'll come down, and they'll get them. They come out of the little creeks, but it's definitely patrolled. And if you just put like a no-wake zone buoy, which I think is part of putting our two moorings out every year, they'll put a no-wake zone there. I do see it happening a lot more than normal because swallow season, more boats, more people are doing Cabs Island. And if you just put it out there, I think it would probably slow down people. Because if you see it, they're going to know. I mean, we're not here to police it, but I think it's a good idea.
But the point is, and I'm just trying to be practical here, if the Harbor Commission says, yes, we'll be in support of putting out a buoy or a sign or whatever the issue is, and then the people that ask for it don't see the results they're looking for, hello, John McDonald, why aren't you guys enforcing this? And that becomes just another set of hassles.
Well, that would be perfectly clear up front, that we're not enforcing speeding.
Right. But the point being that we should make that decision and understand what the moves will be before we get behind that. All I'm just saying is let's not put ourselves in a position of all of a sudden being not supporting whatever we decided.
Has the town ever put any in?
Not to my knowledge.
Never.
Well, you could speed on the Lieutenant River. I mean,
But the ones on the Connecticut River, are they put in by DEP or who put those
No. I put in slow no-wake buoys out of Point Woods because they requested them. So,
well, are they their buoys or they're your buoys?
they're my buoys, they rent them from me. There's 3 of them.
We put slow no-wake zone in Essex whenever we put the moorings in. We go with no-wake zone and slow.
If it's narrow there, can't the property owners just put signs on a post?
We could. I think that's the first logical thing they could do is they could post the dock with slow
We're
motion.
the traffic commission for the water.
Pardon? What'd you say?
We are the traffic commission for the water.
We have no authority to enforce anything.
We're not enforcing it, okay? The State Highway Commission doesn't enforce, they put signs up, that's their job. And that's our job, we put the signs up, we don't enforce them. That's public safety.
Yeah, but the people that live there, they could film it, and then the people don't have an excuse that I didn't know that this wasn't a no-wake zone.
If somebody's speeding, get his registration.
Exactly,
Take a
yeah.
picture.
I mean, that's up to them to
But at least they
report
don't
it
have
to
the
the
excuse.
DEC if they can take a picture of it.
Okay, let me ask this question, Harry. Put on your other hat, your private hat.
Okay.
What would it cost to rent a no-wake zone buoy in Anchor for a season?
$500.
It's a $500 bill.
Yeah.
We can buy
Might as well buy it, right?
How do you figure?
Is that why you include the servicing and only everything else in the 500?
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're just looking for
The buoy
advice,
alone costs $265. And then you gotta need anchor and chain and shackles, so.
And install and removal.
yeah.
So, you're talking a lot more money, you can go a different way.
But it's narrow enough that signs will do it.
Put signs up.
You're really looking to alleviate it. You're not gonna stop it. But you're
No,
trying to help
people are
people
gonna ignore it
alleviate the
anyway.
problem. And that's probably the best we're gonna be able to hold.
Well, this could be presented to the Benny Road where they incur the cost, not us.
Right.
I asked the question, what would a buoy rental cost? And I heard $500 for a season. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, you think
So
that's
it's your buoy. You put it in, you take it out. It's your buoy. It's the service cost $500.
Yeah.
That's what it costs. So,
Yeah. But I mean, I would.
if they feel strongly enough with it, they'll pony up the money.
But I don't think it's our responsibility to put them out. I think the association should do it.
That's not true. It is our responsibility. We're the Harbor Management Commission.
That's why we collect monies for buoys and from rentals. But is there anybody that has a strong position? Do you want to sit on this a month and think about it? Let them post their doc?
Well, I think they deserve an answer ASAP.
Yeah, I would just tell them that they're free to post signs.
Well, they could do that too.
Yeah.
So that opening there is 310 feet wide at that opening into the cove there between Goose and Old Line.
I mean, everybody's responsible for their wake, no matter where
But
they're.
that's a mooring anchorage, and that's another weak zone.
Chris, 310 feet at the
310 feet from the marsh to Old Line Shore.
from the edge of the marsh.
Yep.
Are you sure?
If you look at
The
the
north and
that's
south
a
end.
no-wake zone though,
Yeah.
all the way through there. It's a no-wake zone. It doesn't matter how wide it is, you're in an anchorage.
Because the actual channel passage makes it real narrow.
Yeah, and that's just from marsh. That's not navigable water. That's actually land to land.
I could have sworn it was not more than a couple hundred, but
Yeah, 300, 310.
all right.
And that's at the narrowest point there at the entrance.
Does anybody have anything else to say? Any strong feelings whether we should or not
I feel
consider?
we should do it. We should pay for it and put it out there, rental or whatever. They've asked us to do something. It's an issue. It's our job. And I feel that we should do it and not rely on them just to save a few bucks.
I agree.
Yep, I think we rent it for the first year, and if it has results, then we buy it. Or just keep renting it. But let's see if it works. Let's see if it does anything.
Okay, there's an answer. Okay.
Now you gotta figure out where you wanna put it.
I think
Well-
if you were to put it on, across from Kriebel's on that corner here where it kind of like gets shallow right there.
Right.
You're out of the anchorage area, but it's totally visible when you're coming up the street.
Yep,
Yeah. Right.
that's a good place.
Okay, can I have a motion? George, can you make a
Make
motion?
a motion to rent for the first year, as Chris said, rent the no-wake zone buoy from Harry or whoever, and make a decision next year whether we buy it or not. But at this point, I think it's our responsibility to do that.
Second.
Chris Staub seconded it. Did you get the motion, Mary Ellen?
Sorry.
I couldn't hear any of it. It's so garbled. It's like they're too far away. Can you just repeat it, John?
Okay, George is going to come up and say it again.
Mary Ellen, I made a motion that the Harbor Commission, rent a no-wake zone buoy for the Binney Road area that they're talking about for a year, and then make a decision after a year whether we purchase it or not. But at this point, I think it is our responsibility.
All right, George made that motion, Mary Ellen. And
Okay.
Chris Staub seconded it.
Got it.
All right, we're going to take a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Bill Harris is opposed. The rest of the room said yes, I believe. Yes. Okay. So the motion carries.
Got it.
Okay, new permit applications, we have none. Permit review. Alan Todd, 100 Mile Creek Road, Old Lyme, review permit variance clause. Language to be reviewed was attached to the meeting minutes. I was asked to put this on the agenda by Mr. Mike McGee. Mike, what was up?
What was up? Okay, at our last meeting, I believe it was, maybe the previous meeting, there was some discussion about a dock for Randy Carl, and I believe there was some mention of, I'm not exactly sure about this.
I mentioned it.
Oh, that's right, you were at that's right, you're referring to, that's right,
Okay,
so Randy had called Harry, the harbor master, because she complained about the kayak rack in the down position was blocking the channel. Is that correct?
That's
yeah.
right.
And
Steve said that
that was the agreement that it could only be up during ice, when there was ice,
right.
would be a problem. That was the agreement when we issued the variance. That it would be in the down position at all times, unless there was a threat of ice freezing in the water, and then he was allowed to keep it up. That was the only time he would be allowed to keep it up. This apparently is what Randy Carl wanted initially. Now she says that it's apparently, so Alan Todd, who I happen to know, called me because he saw his name on the minutes and this situation. And he said, if she wants me to keep it up all year, all the better. That's what he always wanted. So he's very willing to comply with her new wishes.
well, let me be clear though. We issued a variance in September of 2018 based upon reduced visibility.
In the down position.
In the down position, and that was a condition of the permit acceptance. It was to be in the down position because there was a visibility complaint.
The variance. Acceptance.
The variance was, yes, because it's above our visibility rule.
Yes.
Okay. What did you have to say, Harry?
No, I already said it.
What did you say?
I said that the complaint was based on the fact that the kayak rack was down blocking the channel.
Okay.
And I didn't know, I thought the variance granted that it stay up. But I've been told that the variance granted it to stay down.
Right. It's down.
But now she's complaining that it's blocking the channel when it's in the down position, especially at low tide.
Okay.
So really, as it stands, with his variance approval, there should be no action. Am I right? No?
My only thought there would be is over the last 3 years, did the area fill in and the navigable water change since we issued the variance? But
I don't think so.
okay, yeah, I don't know the area well enough.
Yeah, has anybody looked at it to see if it's a big
I've seen it.
I've taken aerial photographs from the drone that I presented to the commission.
I've never seen those,
So,
with it down to see if there's room for a channel or not?
I have to go back and look at the photos.
It's very, very little room. The channel goes another 100 yards or so, I believe. That's about it, up that creek.
Okay. Let's cut off that discussion and let's get back to the thing here. I'm struggling with the fact that we have not heard from the Carls by word, their presence, letter, affidavit, statements. I mean, I'm dealing here with hearsay.
Well, actually, she complained to me. I brought it up last month, and after hearing Steve's rebuttal, I thought that the whole thing was over with. I didn't see it to be necessary to go any further with it, because Mr. Todd's in compliance with the variance that he got, and that should be a dead issue.
Okay.
If I could say something, John? If Randy Carl would like the terms of the variance changed to have the kayak racking in opposition so that people can pass by kayaking most of the time or whatever. If she were to, Harry could tell her to contact us in writing that this is what she now desires, and perhaps we can accommodate her and change the variance clause. Whether you agree? No?
No. I'll tell you why. You see, this is a lesson in hearsay. You know, we're dealing with somebody said this, somebody said this, somebody said this, somebody said this. Well, I talked to Mrs. Carl a week ago Monday, and her bottom line is be in compliance with the permit. This whole thing about channel, she doesn't know anything about it. The whole thing about the kayak rack being down, I know. I'm only telling you what I've talked to the person. Mm-hmm. So I've got hearsay. I hear hearsay, hearsay, here. This committee can't work on hearsay. I've heard a different story, you've heard a story, he's heard a story. They don't mesh. This doesn't fit together right. We can't undo the September 2018 meeting based on this kind of
discussion. No, I would say with a letter.
So, you know, this is a dead issue. Mr. Todd, I'm sorry, but the enforcement and the language of your permit remains as of the official language on September of 2018. We can't act upon this. We have no written documentation. We have no affidavits. We have nobody testifying in presence. So I'm sorry for your time and of any time that you spent here on this, but we can't change what we've done.
Can you hear me? Can I make a comment?
You can make a comment, sir.
Yeah, I mean, since the September meeting, 2018, I have followed the instructions that I received from the Harbor Management Commission, seasonally keeping the kayak lift in the up position to avoid ice damage, and in the down position during the rest of the year, and I will continue to do that unless I hear otherwise. But I'm perfectly willing to be flexible if somebody has an issue. That was the message I wanted to get tonight.
I understand. That's very generous of you, and we will note that, is that you are open to other ideas, but we don't have any substance to act upon tonight.
Very good. I will continue as I have in the past.
Thank you for your understanding, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Harbor Master report. Mooring report.
As of today, we have issued 50 private permits, of which 4 of those were waivers for members of the commission. We have, at least as of today, no commercial permits have been issued. It's been what I would classify as pretty slow the last couple of months. And so, I took on the task of sending out some reminder notices this week, because May is historically when Harry starts to do his patrols, if you will. Reminding folks, I had a few conversations with individuals who had applications in process. Some of those were just waiting for communication. So I've been working with Harry to get those people communicated with. But at this point, our number stays at 50. In terms of follow-up activities, besides the aforementioned in-process activity, I have some updated paperwork to work with Harry with, hopefully this week, on commercial mooring paperwork changes that we had agreed to last year in this committee. And then last but not least, and to be honest, this one has taken a bit of a back seat for a couple of reasons, not the least of which is I've had COVID, is the commercial off-the-shelf system
Okay. When do we expect commercial permittees to make application and come forth with their?
The commercial ones, which is the old line fuel dock, Dave Peterson had suffered a medical issue, so he's just getting back on his feet. I've already mentioned it to him once, but I'm sure within the next couple of weeks, he'll have the 3 permits that he usually gets. I've had a discussion with Glenn regarding sitting down with him and coming up with a universal commercial language for his 50 or so moorings. But right now, I know he's swamped. So I really kind of want to wait till after the Memorial Day holiday to get to him. And I know, has Morales submitted his?
Nope.
Okay, I'll work on Morales.
Okay, so,
And that's basically the commercial.
all right, so basically we're giving the commercial guys some time to get the boats launched and figure out how many they really need.
Well, I can tell you, Morales is going to have 12. Old Line Dock will have 3. And Glenn usually does between 45 and 50. Am I right?
That's about right. I do have a request, Harry, and I've made this in the past and I'll continue to make it. Historically, those guys, obviously, they're busy, but they have been the worst at paperwork in terms of keeping it up and providing it. Just looking at last year's records, it's just a sea of blanks. I'm more than happy to do as much as I can to help, but I need you to get in these guys' ears, and you promise to do this, is just tell them they need to, fill in the blanks and provide the information and help us help them. Because, it doesn't make any sense to have a process if nobody follows it.
I see these guys on a regular basis, and I'm always telling them.
Well, I'm gonna continue to churn it back to you.
Okay.
And, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to, set up do all the effort, set up all the process there, everybody else follows, and then these guys just blow it off.
Wasn't there a time that we had done previously, like years back, that they had to pull the permits by a certain date?
I think
They had to pay by June 15th.
June 15th?
Yeah, they had to pay.
I think, Harry, I'll set up some time, and I don't know, I'm feeling a little better, I'll set up some time with you in the next week or so, and we'll sit down in your office or something, and just go through everything, and we'll, get it elsewhere.
But they always do pay. I mean, we do get the money.
Last
I can tell you that
more time because of
And
COVID.
it's not like we're paying alimony to anybody.
No.
But here's the thing, if we feel it's important to have inspections on our mooring tackle and they don't provide the inspections, again, that just sort of blows the system up. So I can tell you that's where the gaps are.
Well, Dave Peterson inspects his own moorings. So he is an inspector.
Let's use your friend Glenn as an example.
He is also.
He writes his name on the bottom of the sheet, and that's the only information that he provides. And he hands it to his customers who hand it to me, and then I have to chase the customers to chase him. Nothing ever happens. I've emailed him, I've written him letters. I haven't gone in there and talked to him, but I'm asking you, who've got a relationship, to try and help the
Is
commission.
that the commercial moorings that he's doing that for, or the private that he's doing that
It's
for?
a combination.
Both.
Well, the private ones we're going to have to reject. If he just signs at the bottom and he doesn't have chain size, he doesn't have the depth of the chain, he doesn't have any of the data,
Those are the ones that are easy to fix because we don't.
we'll have to reject them. They're not accepted. They don't get a permit.
I will make sure that I'll emphasize to them that the inspection and the paperwork is very important. And what might help is a letter from the commission.
I mean, if he doesn't have info in there, how do you know he really inspected it?
send a letter when it's already the rule that we have.
Yeah.
The information and the rules of the road are there for everybody, and it's very clearly made available. I could write a letter, I just don't think it's going to do anything.
Okay, you know what, you're right, but also I go to these places regularly, so it's not like, I don't say anything to these guys. I mean,
I don't think it should be on, just because Old Line Marina puts it in and takes it out. When I hired him, that's all he did for me. I applied, I owned the mooring. He put it in the water for me, he took it out for me. I applied for the permit, I filled in the forms for the application, and I filled out the form for the inspection. I brought it to him and said, check it out for me, check out my gear. If it's good, sign it. But I was the one that filled it out all the time. I didn't leave it for him to do.
Yeah, but
So it's really, we're not rejecting him, we're rejecting the owner.
But he's saying it's opposite. He's saying that Glenn's giving a blank here, I'm signing it, you go fill it out and hand it back to them. The step is opposite, correct?
You just
Is that
don't
what
give
you're
them
saying?
warning, you're absolutely right.
Well, again,
You don't give a permit.
private, using Glen as an example, just because it's easy, the private moorings, that's easy enough to fix, because I probably had 98% turnaround response when I plug them about that, but it's the ones that are not private, that we can't do anything about, or at least, it's harder to do anything about. I've got blank records going back several years.
well, the private moorings are, as Mike said, the responsibility of the owner of the mooring. But also, Glenn doesn't fill out his own commercial inspection.
This is what I'm trying to say.
I thought we
He's
were
signing
going to
an
go.
inspection form that this is what it is, and it passes. How can he sign a blank form?
With a squiggly line.
Right.
That you can barely read.
He's responsible for that inspection.
All right, well, we're going to cut it off here. Gary, go talk to him again and say, the private moorings, if the data is not filled out on a private mooring, they're not going to get a permit.
Okay.
On his commercial moorings, you work on a commercial mooring. If he's inspected 50 moorings, and we don't need to know 1 through 49, just say that he's certifying all 50 moorings, that he's inspected his commercial moorings. That's what we discussed last time. But the private owners, to Mike McGee's point, and myself, when I give Glenn an inspection form for me, it is 100% filled out. Chain length, chain diameter, buoy size, everything.
Right.
It's all done out because we do that. If you're the owner, you got to put that information in it.
I don't disagree with you. My personal thought is that a lot of people don't understand
Well,
the level where they just say,
you know what? It's the Latin res ipsa loquitur. The deed will speak for itself. When a person says, "Here's my permit. Here's my bottom line sign inspection with no data," you send it right back to them. And say, "Sorry, you put the data in there." Incomplete. You don't need to send a letter. You just need to slap somebody's hand once in a while and say, "Hey, you didn't do it right." You're going to get away with that with a driver's license or anything else you do?
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you that
I know.
this is the experience, and I'm asking Harry for his help because he's got a unique perspective on it.
Yeah.
Well, that's where we're going to be. Okay, Harry, your report. Anything else?
Just basically, all the harbor masters are getting together to petition the state to get a raise.
Good for you.
Good luck.
Can I ask a quick question to Harry?
Yeah.
So,
Terry, it's very hard for you to hear, for us to hear. You got to either.
I'll pull it down a little
Okay.
bit, talk a little louder. So when somebody puts in, just say a mooring that's illegal, Harry, and you come across it, and you find it, and you confiscate it, do you fine them, and where does the fine go?
Okay, the procedure that's established by this commission is that if I encounter an illegal mooring, I affix a label onto that mooring with a warning notice. And in the past, I've been told that I have to give them 2 weeks to correct the defectiveness of the mooring. And then when I come back, if nothing's done, then I confiscate the mooring. I bring it back to my retrieve the mooring, it's a $70 fine, plus they have to pay the hauling charge. And in the case where there is no permit, they have to pay the permit. And if it's the year after the year of the violation, they have to pay that year plus the new year before they can get it back.
And in our treasurer's report, is that a separate fine? Is there a separate category?
It's in there, and we've collected them before, Harry has gotten them.
Yeah. The first year or two that I was harbor master, I had picked up like 30 plus moorings that were illegal. And over the next years, you know, either people came and they paid the fines and they paid all the charges, or the moorings were turned around and sold and the money was all turned over to the commission. So.
I had that question and I just want to bring it to my attention. I just want to make sure I had the right answer.
Harry, can I request that when you pull illegal moorings, that you loop those names back to me so I can double check the paperwork? If someone, you know, either thinks they have a permit but they don't, etc., that kind of thing.
Well, the new trick is, if somebody comes down to the beach like they're renting a cottage for a week, they'll throw a mooring in the water with nothing on it. And after a while I notice it and I just grab it. I don't wait because I know it's a renter trying to get over on, you know, avoiding the permit.
Well, are they actual moorings they're doing that with, or are they throwing down?
Mostly they're the vinyl coated balls, you know, like almost the round fenders, the balls.
Right, but what I'm saying is,
And they have Danforth
are
anchors.
they putting down like a mushroom mooring, or are they
No,
putting
they're putting Danforth anchors.
Probably a car,
They
probably
can
a
do
car.
that though, it's an anchor.
Well, whenever possible, if there's a name associated, let me know so that I can.
I mean, a lot of people do that, they'll leave the anchor with a ball and then come back later, if it's short term.
Yeah, that's.
Block Island, they do it all the time.
It's for like a sup or you know, their kayak out there, whatever, they come back and forth for the week. And that was, somebody brought that to my attention and said, how do I get it back?
Well, it's not legal.
It's not really a mooring.
Shouldn't be left in the water. If there's no vessel on this anchor mooring, why should that be left in the water?
Are there any rules written on that?
Well, I've always told them they've always been illegal.
We do have some language in it.
Is there? That's what I'm wondering.
Permit, I don't know if it 100%
I
applies.
see people do it everywhere. In Block Island, it's done all the time.
This is Block Island.
No, but is there some ruling that people can't do that?
There is a sheriff. Got a new sheriff.
This may or may not apply. Bill, but I'll read it to you in one sentence. Moorings are to be occupied only by a vessel owned by the permit holder or a member of their immediate household. Permits are not otherwise transferable or assignable.
But that's a mooring.
It's not an anchor. Yeah.
It's one sentence.
It's kind of a gray area.
I think it's an opportunity to clarify our harbor management plan, to put some verbiage in there. A, what do we do when Harry pulls them, so he doesn't have to wait 2 weeks or whatnot, if he, you know, so he has clear direction from our commission, and then also to clarify what is a mooring and what is not.
Right. Because, I mean, if he's pulling those, we're not getting fine money on those.
It's the free anchors, it's the free balls.
I'll give them all to you. You know,
It's like the car engines, no?
See my practice.
Car engines?
no more car engines.
Okay, anything else in your report, Harry?
Yeah, I forgot. No, seriously.
You wanted a raise, you said.
Yeah, and I did. No, I didn't say I wanted a raise. I said the harbor masters have banded together under the auspices of Dave Crocker, who's the new London harbor master. So.
Is he still in Waterford too?
Yeah.
Hey, all that money they got going through infrastructure, maybe they should do something with it, huh? Instead of building tunnels through Hartford.
That's pretty much it.
All right, that's it? Okay. Yeah, and we're going to wait on the commercial mooring stuff till you feel better, right, Tom?
Yeah, we'll get
Okay.
it sorted out by next meeting.
we'll start with the committee reports. Mike, Pilgrim's Landing.
Pilgrim Landing, it's got a really large tree on the beach right now that's holding anything else that happens to floating behind it. I'll call Public Works and they'll probably haul it out of there and do their normal cleanup typically around Memorial Day. Other than that, everything looks good.
Launch and storage?
Launch and storage, nothing new to report. I did talk to a representative, a member of the sustainability team for Old Lyme, and it was kind of interesting, but I really have nothing to report.
Okay.
So that's it.
Good. Dinghy dock, I was down there on Monday when Dave Peterson was launching our docks. The first two docks that came off the top of the stack looked fairly good. The bottom dock, the third dock on the ground, we lost a lot of the lower board fasteners, and when they get it up in the air, they used screws to put the boards back on the bottom. I would estimate that that dock has maybe 1 or 2 more years in it. It would need two ways to go. Either total rebuild with taking out the corner posts and putting in galvanized bolts to re-bolt it, and all brand new stringers across the bottom, 2x6 stringers to hold the floats up, or change it out, or stop putting the dock in there because there's not a lot of usage of it. So there's 3 or 4 ways to go, but it looks to me that they'll last another year or 2. So they were patched together, they were launched, and I saw them all get launched. So they should be all set.
The aluminum thing going down the stairs is still up.
Okay.
Hasn't come down yet, but I think you could, as you say, the little use that that place gets, I'm not sure at this point spend the money on a third set of docks and just maybe leave it the way it is for now and then make a decision over the next year. Do you want to go all aluminum, or I have a real question about the whole history of this thing dock. I don't see the use for it other than some people going down there fishing and occasionally somebody will tie their boat up there illegally. But it seems like it's a wasted, I don't know, something's not right about it. I brought it up last year, but I was shut down.
Well, we do need to look at that whole evolution down there, and if there was some way to put some money into some waterfront activity area, I think it would be better spent at Pilgrim Landing than down there. But we certainly have the interest at Pilgrim Landing, and so let's leave it at that for now.
You have parking access there too. There's plenty of parking. And Pilgrim Landing is more limited.
True. True. There's pros and cons, Chris. I can't decide which is better.
That's public access right there.
Yeah.
Say again, Harry.
I was just commenting that I thought that was excellent public access over there.
Over where? Which way? You
At
talking?
the dinghy dock.
The dinghy dock.
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's great parking there. It's great parking.
And I think it's used a lot more than people think. I mean, every time I'm going by there, I see somebody either walking down the dock or somebody fishing or a kayak pulled up to it. I see that place being busy.
I don't think too much with little boats, kayaks and things.
No little boats.
But definitely for every
Mostly fishing. I'm there 2 or 3 times a week during the summer.
Okay.
Very little use.
I go by there almost every day.
Well, we want to make Old Lyme a hospitable place, and what if we just created an anchorage north of Old Lyme Dock, and then we could have people anchor there for the night, and then come put their dinghies at the Old Lyme Dinghy Dock.
What if we put one of the town moorings over there and see if it gets used?
That's
It'd be so beat up there. I mean, there's so much traffic in there. I would not want to be anchored there.
I don't know, it seems like the current house is moving real quick.
Right around that corner.
Yeah, on the other side of the bridge.
We could debate this all night. We're not going to solve this one tonight.
You know, I just don't think a lot of people know about it, to be honest with you.
Well, if anybody's going to use it as a dinghy dock, they would have to be either anchoring or mooring to come in if it's an area that would work in. If not, then...
Precisely. If it's not a dinghy dock, if you have nowhere to moor.
Right, and there's no destination. It's like you go to Essex, you can dock and then go into town. Like when you pull up that dinghy dock, where are you gonna go?
Yeah.
It's a long walk to town.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but you could put a couple of moorings off there,
No way.
and people could, get off.
If they'll use them, yeah.
Okay, it's in for another year. Or it's in for the season, I'll put it that way, not in for another year. Okay, Harbor Management Plan addendum and update the goals of Bob Fulgari. He's not here. Let's pass on that. Work direction and guidance for the Harbor Master, Revision 2, review and comment. I missed that agenda item last meeting and I did not bring it up. So we passed this item and I've had some comments before. Any more comments?
The only thing I had was some of what is in here. I think actually Tom's doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, approve and issue permits.
No. Harry approves and issues permits.
Well,
No.
They're going through.
No, it's the that's the Harbor Master's. He's delegating that to Tom, but it's his responsibility.
Right, what I do is I sign anything,
He sounds like
I
it.
sign TM or HSP,
Yeah.
per discussion and agreement.
Yeah. No, Harry's responsible for that.
Okay.
That's his job. All right, Harry. The only thing that's in here that it says is that we're going to really do a very formal the audit of moorings, 100% audit of all moorings in the water in a 4-week period centered around July 1st. So you might want to think how you want to form a little subcommittee to get some helpers to help you do a 100% audit on all the mooring fields.
Well, how is the audit to be, let's see, how do I want to say this? Do you want the audit in print?
What I envisioned was that at the time, we've issued 50 private moorings, and we've issued, say, somewhere near 50 for Old Line Marina, 3 for the dock, and 12 for Murata. So we're looking at 15 plus 30 is 65. So we're looking to see 115 moorings to make sure that we've accounted for all the permitted moorings, and see if there's any been thrown in, like you said, buoys without names. So the audit would be wherever these moorings are in our water. So we need
Oh, so you're talking about patrol?
a patrol.
Oh, okay, that's not a problem. When you said audit, I thought you were referring to taking a spreadsheet and go out there and checking each mooring.
No, it's like you went through Binney Road Association and you picked up non-compliances.
Right.
And you said, well, it would be nice to say that, well, take for instance, my mooring has my name and the weight. It's just a check mark. It's got the sticker, it's got the weight, it's got the name, it's got the blue tape. It's all.
Well, just like you know your mooring, I basically know everything that's in the water. And I can tell you if something doesn't belong in the water, because I put most of it in.
Well, that's what we want. We want that inspection to take place around July 1st. You have 115 permitted moorings, and we'd like to find out how many are in compliance and how many are not in compliance.
Okay, not that's not a problem.
It's an advantage to that too. I've always wanted to map the moorings, and I think that would be an opportunity to do that at the same time.
I think that's a great idea.
I did that 5 years ago, if you remember. And I went out and mapped all the moorings, that I could identify. Some had nothing on them, from Point of Woods to White Sand. And I think Mike or somebody, Bill, might have taken the river moorings, and we put them on a map. I had somebody draw the contours of beaches and so forth, and we put them on there. We did discover a lot of non-compliant.
I have GPS on everything I put in the water.
The ones you do.
Yeah.
But not.
I don't have Glenn's.
Right.
I don't have Dave's, but I know where his are. And I have Morales because I put all his in it.
Well, I know that the moorings show up very good on Google Earth.
Right.
And the Google Earth is so clear that you can actually spot the white ball in the water.
Just can't see the name sometimes.
Well, you can't see the name, but you can tell it's a mooring ball.
But there's overlay programs that we can put data on top of those, pictures, and then we have a good record.
Right.
It'll take somebody better with a computer than me, though.
They check the position you ask for before they'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Everyone is on there.
Well, let's gear up for a July work party to get this done, just like bird counts. They send the people out to count the birds, and we want to know what's going on here. So that's in the work direction rules, Harry. Other than that, it's stuff that we've all done and go over.
Do I get an increase in my contract?
No.
Just do the work.
You work for the state.
The way fuel's going up, we're going to need an increase.
Okay. I will. I'm not sure if we need a vote on this. This is not a voting issue, but it is guidance. I'll leave it at that. Mary Ellen? Mary Ellen?
Did you want? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For this item on the agenda, just put down that we discussed it, and that it's not a lot of comments. It's generally acceptable.
Okay.
Okay? We're not going to vote on it.
Thank you, John.
Okay, new business nomination for HMC vice chairman position. We already discussed that. We're going to wait to get the chairman's, vice chairman. Anybody who's interested in the job, who's a member, can either talk to me or talk to Mike McGee, and I will get the results of anybody talking to me to Mike prior to the meeting, and as secretary, Mike will call for the nominations to be entered, and we'll vote at it at that time, next meeting. So that'll be on next month's agenda, Mike. Okay?
June.
Okay. Any public comments?
Can anybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes.
Michael Barnes calling in. How are we doing today?
Okay, Mike, how are you?
Good, thank you. I was hoping to possibly throw it by the commission. I was speaking with some of the selectmen. I know there's some vacancies coming up in some alternate positions, I believe. And I was hoping that I could be considered for an alternate position on the Harbor Management Board. I feel like I have a lot to offer as far as knowledge. And I'd love the opportunity to be included in a lot of your discussions that you guys are having, as well as some future discussions in regards to how we can keep improving our town with the waterways. So that's my public comment. I just was throwing it out there, and see if anyone had any questions for me specifically. If this is the forum to do it in, I'm not sure.
Yes, it is. It's fine. That's what public comments are good for. Mike, I was just informed that anybody who wants to take a position on the board is free to fill out an application at the town hall, and we encourage that from all people, especially with people with the maritime background or water-based activity like yourself, who has a marina. I wasn't aware of this because I didn't do it myself, but now you have to attend one meeting. It has to show up on the attendance list, and so you can come in. Our next meeting is the second Tuesday of
So John, why doesn't this meeting count?
How long have you been on the phone?
What this? Oh, I've been on since you guys started. I had it on mute because I know I wasn't allowed to talk till the public comment portion.
Oh, okay. So, well, when I asked if anybody else was on the phone, I didn't hear you say anything. So I was asking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was specific to the members. My apologies.
Okay. So, Mary Ellen, put Mike Barnes down as a guest attendee.
He's been at other meetings too.
Okay, and is that Barnes?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Mike. You'll get on the top of the agenda as attendant.
All right, I appreciate it. Sorry I didn't speak sooner. I just was trying to keep a low profile, let you guys do your business.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go back on mute. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Okay. Any other business?
I have a question. When you said earlier that you can only approve up to $100
Right.
for payments, now, this, like the moorings and channel marker and other work that Harry does, since we've pretty much contracted and he's approved, do we need to vote on that, or can I just pay him?
We approved the 2 town moorings at a meeting, and we approved the Black Hall channel marker.
Right.
I think I've made a mistake. We really should vote to approve the no wake buoy. We
did that though.
Yeah, we did.
I'm just saying that he's already been contracted and voted on to do it. I don't really need to do another vote each time I pay him, do I?
No, that was an approved expenditure.
Right.
The reason we sole sourced it, and that's a good point, the reason we sole sourced it is that's a 1-year critical item. It has a time, it's time sensitive, and it's only for 1 year. If we decide to do that over and over and over again next year, I think we'd have to put it out to an invitation to bid or something like that. But right now, I look at that as a one-time deal. It was part of the motion that somebody said that we were going to reevaluate it. You know, if we don't get the right response from Binney Road people, if they're still upset, you know, we won't put the buoy back in. You know, it's just.
Right, but in other words, that's a good example actually. We just voted to approve it, right?
Yes, we did.
When I get a bill from him, can't I just pay him, or do I need to come back to you or the commission and get a vote on it?
No, the bill has to come to me. I have to sign off
You
on
still
it.
have to sign off.
And then I send it to you.
All right. That being said, you signed off to pay the 2 moorings.
I did.
How about to do the channel?
I didn't see the invoice for the channel marker.
Well, he's got it.
Yeah, I don't have it with me, but I've written out a check that includes it. That's why I was asking.
Did you bill us for the channel marker?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it's what, $150?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you can track down the paperwork, that's fine.
Oh yeah, I have it.
Oh, okay, then pay it.
Yeah, because I have it from, what happened is Nicole got it, and she wanted to know if she had to pay it, and I told her no, I would.
Okay. I just didn't see the paperwork, that's all.
So it's okay to give you a check.
Yeah, you can give me a check. Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Thank you.
Oh, hold on, one last comment. I'm sorry. Michael Barnes here, sorry. On that marker for Black Hall, we really absolutely, and this is just my opinion from the public, and as well as almost striking it several times in the nighttime, we need a reflector of some sort on that Black Hall mooring channel marker. It is absolutely an obstruction floating in the middle of the water that has no reflection on it whatsoever. And you have a little bit of waves out there, and it is an accident waiting to happen. So I don't know if anyone has any feelings about that. I just feel I'll buy the reflector for it as a public citizen as concern, but we definitely have to have some sort of reflective something on that buoy. I don't know if anyone else has experienced it, but I have firsthand, and it is very dangerous.
I agree.
I hear what he said.
Okay, they're calling for some reflective material to be placed on the Black Hall River buoy because at night they're saying there's no easy way to see the buoy.
Okay, I'll put
It's not the
but I want you to realize that those markers are not designed for that. They didn't come through with reflective tape.
Buy that, Mary.
I've got plenty of it, but I'm just saying, when the buoy was manufactured, that's the way it was manufactured.
But putting tape on it would be an easy fix.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thanks for bringing that to our attention, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I've been meaning to say that for about a year now, and I'm glad somebody mentioned it. So thank you. I'll be quiet now. Have a good night, guys.
Okay. All right. Did I have a motion to adjourn? George, motion to adjourn, seconded. Bill Harris, second. All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you, everybody.
I wanted to say something about Mr. Barnes. Last year, I've never met him before, and I noticed over in Edgewood, called Flat Rocks over there, very popular area between Old Lime Shores, and I saw somebody out there power washing, and not knowing, near the water line. I'm saying to myself, I hope he's not using chemicals or whatever else. So I'm out there, and it was Mike Barnes who owns a Eco Solution power washing company. And somebody that was on Facebook had put graffiti up there, not nice words and stuff like that. And he went out on his own. He saw it on Facebook, and he went out on his own to power wash that off. So nobody paid him or anything like that. I just thought, man, this is.
I had him do mine out. He does a good job.
Yeah. So that's all. It's my comment.
Stewart, he's just a lifelong teenager around here.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
I know Mike pretty good. I think that before he becomes an alternate, you may want to make sure that he's through his issue with Deep regarding the dredging of his marina. So, just in case there's a more serious issue.
Yeah, then you have to abstain from voting. Yeah, it's unrelated.
I didn't hear you, Chris. What did you say?
To Harry's comment, if he has any outstanding challenges with the DEP, and that comes up to vote, he would have to just abstain from voting, or as an alternate, he can vote anyway, unless he's placed. But if he gets placed that day, you have to abstain.
Yeah,
You have to.
I was more referring, to be honest with you, was that he become an alternate once he's got those issues behind him.
I'm not aware of the issues. The DEP has not informed this committee. I reiterate, I can't run a committee based on hearsay. If Kevin Zerway has not informed me of a violation, I don't have anything in front of me. I don't have any paperwork. It was reported to the DEP. There is nothing feeding back to me, Harry. I do not know that for sure.
By any chance, have you gone down and seen his place?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Do you have any problems with it that you've seen?
Carrie called the DEP because there was a complaint.
Several complaints.
Right, but what I'm wondering is he asked if you've seen it. Does he know of problems that he's seen?
Well, I sent some pictures.
Yeah, but Harry, there's a DEP enforcement officer in charge of that case.
I understand that.
Okay.
I guess you misunderstand what I was getting.
You don't think he should become a member because he's got an outstanding notice of violation?
I think that he should become an alternate after we make sure that all those issues are either behind him or don't exist?
It's not our
It's
issue.
not, it has nothing to do with the harbor management.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Absolutely. Nothing to do with the harbor management. If I got arrested yesterday, it doesn't matter to the harbor management commission what I do outside this harbor management commission.
He's not.
What would you have gotten arrested for?
But
Anything.
No, Harry, come on, you're just being argumentative.
Strangling the harbor master. You guys don't get
Hey,
it.
Harry, I
Violating no wake zone.
got busted for coming out of that creek, actually, the police talking about when I was, 17.
I've done some creek running in my day.
You sure you want to join us?
Oh, good night, everyone.
They send you all the information when there's a doubt or something going on. Oh, yeah. I save all these things.
It's all true now, it's all done by, it's all containerized now. I need to get a statement from you.
Okay, harbor management meeting is adjourned. I started the tape recorder. You missed the first 3 minutes. We took the roll call. The roll call at the meeting was present are Bill Harris, John McDonald, Mike McGee, Tom Meyer, Terry Lewis, Chris Staub, Harry Plout. A quorum was present. We discussed the need of the Harbor Management Committee is short 2 alternates, and we are seeking alternate members to join the board. Secondly, we have an open position for the vice chairman, so the vice chairman's position is going to be nominated and elected next month. And then that's all that was not on the tape recorder. Appreciate it. Take care. Bye now. This is John McDonald signing out.